Hello, everyone. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you all to this webinar. I'm your host and speaker, Medha Khamgaonkar. Thank you for taking out time to join us today as we talk about interoperability in healthcare systems using Noah and HL7. This is the agenda for today's presentation. All right. So before we dive deep into the topic, I would like to know how many of you are aware of Noah and HL7? For this, there is a poll coming shortly on your screen. Please respond to it. All right. So, from the results of the poll, I can see many of you are aware of both the topics, and some of you are aware either of the topics. But I promise you, this webinar will give you new insights on these topics. And for those who are not aware of these topics, need not worry, we have got you covered. All right, let's start then. What is NOHA? The Hearing Instrument Manufacturers Software Association, or we call as HIMSA, was founded with the objective of developing, marketing, and supporting one standard for integrated hearing care solutions. Hence, they came up with NOHA. The NOHA software system is designed specifically for the hearing care industry, providing hearing care professionals with a unified system for performing patient related tasks. With NOHA, you can measure a patient's hearing loss with audiometry immitance tests, real ear measurements, and many more. The results will then be passed automatically to the common database for use by any of the several fitting systems that are available in market. Also, office management systems that are responsible for patient management, handling patient demographics, scheduling, also accounting and marketing can be integrated with NOHA. And all of this information is automatically saved into the EHR, or what we call as electronic health records, either in NOHA or in a NOHA compatible business management system, without any direct action on your part. The heart of NOHA is its integration framework, supported by over 130 hearing care companies worldwide. Introducing you to the NOHA 4 software system. So this is the main page of NOHA 4 software, and this is the information that you can view on this home page. So there is a list of existing patients that the audiologist is already seeing. Then this is the latest audiogram of the patient, which is the result of an audiometry test. Then this is the section where the information related to the devices that have been used for measurements are visible, if at all any. All the previous sessions for a patient that he or she has participated till date are also visible over here. And this is a very beneficial section. So it is a comment section. The audiologist can use comments to add their observation or notes about the examination so that if the patient comes back again in future, then the audiologist has some reference about the past diagnosis. Now, these are the most important three NOHA 4 modules: the audiogram module, journal module, and the questionnaire module. We will see each of them in detail in the upcoming slides. Let's start with the audiogram module. Using this module, an audiologist can conduct various audiometry tests suitable for the patient. So this is the home page of the audiogram module, and these are the features that are accessible to the user. Audiologist can view the patient's old audiograms, thus having it as a reference for assessment in the current session. You can also view the phone types, chosen audiometer if used, added notes, and pure tone average. You can of course create a new audiogram for the patient. Now here you can see this is the emittance tab, and by clicking on this tab, this emittance submodule is visible to you. So you can record the ipsilateral and contralateral acoustic reflexes in emittance module. This is the speech tab for the speech submodule. You can record the SRT, WR, WRN, MCL, and UCL measurements in this speech module for the patient. In print configuration, you can add a logo over here, a business name, up to 8 patient fields to your business report, and then print it with the measurement data. After closing the audiogram module, this information will appear in the sessions list in the NOHA 4 software. The next module is the journal module. This module is used by the audiologist to create, edit, and manage journal entries for their patients. This is how the journal module looks like, and these are the features that are accessible to you. So to create a new journal entry, simply click on this plus icon, or you can begin typing in an existing journal entry. You have a one-click access to your latest journal entry. So over here, you can see you have several journal entries already present for the patient. You can also edit a previous journal entry. The journal module provides full range of the formatting options for you. It also provides rich text editing. Now, this is a very important functionality, or I would say very useful functionality provided to you. Attaching a file to your journal entry is also possible over here. For example, you may have .jpg images of the measurement years or measurement reports of the patient that can be attached to the journal entry. Standardized forms are used for tasks such as recording case histories or dispensing hearing aids. These can now be stored as templates in the journal module. Existing templates for the common patient categories can also be used, thus saving time of creating a new template each time. The report for journal entry can also be printed. The print report allows to print single as well as multiple journal entries on the same page. So over here you can see there is a print icon available. Using this icon, you can print the journal entries. And then we have the questionnaire module. The NOHA questionnaire module allows to complete, store, and retrieve industry standard questionnaires to assist in the provision of evidence-based hearing care healthcare. This module is designed with cooperation and approval of the original authors. The NOHA 4 questionnaire module is now based on NOHA 4 technology. This means it is possible to open the questionnaire module directly from the desktop now, without the need of opening NOHA 4 software. So the NOHA questionnaire module provides us three different questionnaires: COSI, AFAB, and the IOIHA. To create a new questionnaire entry for a patient, Simply click on this plus icon and you can select either COSI, AFAB or IOIHA. This is the COSI questionnaire over here. It is available in all the NOHA languages. COSI offers an editable hearing instrument label, drop-down priority menus, and a convenient checkbox mode of entry. Here, the audiologist lists down scenarios where the patient is suffering with hearing and assigns priority accordingly. The patient then ticks the checkboxes as per the experience before and after the use of hearing aid. Next, we have the AFAB questionnaire. AFAB is available in English, German, Hungarian, and Portuguese. AFAB offers selectable test types and conditions, the automatic calculation and display of results, WDRC, linear elderly and young norms. So over here you can see there are some standardized questions, and this is a facility where the patient can select the option as per the percentage. Once they have selected as per their experience without hearing aid and with hearing aid, then the score is auto calculated and auto populated. Lastly, we have the IOIHA, the International Outcome Inventory Hearing Aids Questionnaire. This is available in almost all supported NOHA languages except Lithuanian. It also includes the US norms data. This questionnaire offers a field for date of HA fitting, score, date of outcome measure, and a convenient checkbox mode of entry. This questionnaire consists of the hearing aid related questions, and the patient has to answer as per their personal experience. You can also take a printout of the filled in questionnaire, and it looks like this. You can hand it over to the patient, or even the audiologist can keep it with themselves for future reference. Alright, let's see the demo of NOHA for application now. So this is how the home page of the NOHA for application looks like. We already have a list of patients available over here in the patient manager. Let me select one of the patients, and yes. So over here you can see the latest audiogram of the patient. You might have plotted several audiograms, or you might have conducted several audiometry tests for the patient. However, over here you can see only the latest one. This is the section that we call as session manager. Over here you can see different sessions that the patient has attended in the past. So this is an entry for the journal module. It is named as coupler details. Then this is one of the entries for the audiogram module. And yes, you can also see the COSI questionnaire filled in over here. This is again one of the journal entries which is named as fitting details. And you might be wondering, what is this ABC? So ABC are the initials of the audiologist who has conducted these particular measurements. You can also call them as user initials. So let me navigate to one of these modules. So when I click on this entry, the measurement should get open in the audiogram module. It takes a couple of seconds to open the measurement. All right. So this is how the audiogram module actually looks like. And over here we have the emittance submodule open. So we can see ipsilateral and contralateral acoustic reflexes have been captured for the patient, John Taylor, and certain values are populated over here for the right and left ear. This is the speech submodule. We can see some tests are already conducted related to speech for John Taylor. So this is how SRT, WR, WRN, MCL, and UCL measurements are taken. And over here we can see insert phones transducer has been used. So whichever transducer you have used for conducting these measurements are displayed over here. Let us check the audiometry tab. Okay, so this is the audiogram that has been plotted, which is a result of the audiometry test for right as well as left ear. So currently we have only one audiogram that has been plotted for the patient. Let's say if you have conducted several audiometry tests, then you can see multiple entries present over here, and you can just click on any of the entries and you can view the results of the tests. There is a plus icon present over here. So if at all you want to conduct new tests for the same patient, then you can just click on this icon. You can select the submodule that you want and you can create new tests. Currently, the save icon is disabled since I haven't taken any fresh measurements. But if at all I take any new measurements, then this icon gets enabled automatically. So you can save all the measurements. We also have a print measurement icon present over here. So you can take a printout of all the measurements or even the selected measurements that you want. You can hand it over as a report to the patients, or even the audiologist can keep it. So this is how the audiogram module works. Now let us check out the journal module. Alright, so we can see we have multiple journal entries for the patient. So this is from 17th August. We have one from 18th August. So you can select any of them and you can see the content inside it. This is where you can give a title to your journal. And we can see there are a lot of formatting and rich text editing options available for you, which makes it way easier to make the template more efficient. As we can see again, there is a plus icon. Using this, you can create a new template, or you can also use an existing template. So we have a feature over here. There's a drop down. So currently I haven't saved any existing templates, but if you have any templates saved with you, then you can just click over here and you can select from here, so that whenever common category of patient visits an audiologist, they don't have to create a new template every time. They can just select an existing template. It will save a lot of their time. You can see the date on which the template is created. Again, we have the save option over here, and you can take a printout of the journal entry. So you can take multiple journal entries printout on a single page, or you can even have different printouts, whatever is suitable to you. So you can hand it over to the patient. But this journal module is mainly for the audiologist use, for their future reference. So usually the audiologist save these journal entries with them, either in a hard copy form or inside the software. It is always safe. You can always come back. So this was all about the journal module. Now let us check out the features of the questionnaire module. Questionnaire module is very important for an audiologist to understand the performance of a patient. So over here we can see the cozy questionnaire is already open. It has been filled out by the patient and it is saved. So the audiologist has listed down certain questions over here that are relevant to the patient. So these questions may differ from patient to patient. Every patient has some different issues related to hearing, and according to them, after the diagnosis is done, the audiologist lists down some relevant questions and then assigns priority to them. Then you can see there are two columns over here. So in this, the audiologist will rate the performance before using the hearing aid, and over here you can see final ability. After using the hearing aid, how is the performance in these particular situations? So this helps the audiologist to understand better how the patient is performing after the treatment is being given to them. So this is how the cozy questionnaire looks like. Now if you want to create a new questionnaire, we will click on the plus icon and you can see we can select any of the questionnaires. Since we have already seen cozy, let us check out AFAB. All right. So this is how the AFAB questionnaire looks like. So we can see again there are certain scenarios over here. So these are the standard scenarios. These are not customizable. So these are usually standard for the patients. And again the patient has to rate here without hearing aid how is the performance in these particular circumstances, and with hearing aid how is the performance. So you can see percentage has been assigned to each alphabet. So the G last one is for never 1%, and A is like always 99%. So once this marking has been done by the patient, the score is auto calculated and it is auto populated. And again, on the basis of this score, the audiologist is able to understand in a better way if the hearing aid that he or she has provided to the patient, it is working as per expectations or if it needs a change. So this is how the questionnaire module is very useful for the audiologist. Again, you can take a printout of the questionnaire. You can hand it over to the patient, or again the audiologist can keep it with themselves. And you can see now, since I have made some changes or I have created a new questionnaire, this save icon, it has got enabled. But since I have not entered all the entries, let us just close this. So this was all about the questionnaire module. Okay, we will discard the changes. All right. Now we have two very important features available in the Noha 4 software. So over here you can see there's an icon for import patients. So Noha 4 is a type of patient management system, but there are several other patient management systems that are available in the market. So if at all one day an audiologist decides to switch from one patient management system to Noha 4, then it is not feasible to manually enter the records of all the past patients into Noha 4. So we have got a great feature over here. You can directly just import all the demographic as well as measurement details of several number of patients into Noha 4 just by one click. And similarly, we also have the export functionality available over here, which makes the job of an audiologist pretty easy. So this was all about the Noha 4 software. I guess you have got a pretty good idea. All right. So before we proceed further, I would like to know how many of you are already using Noha ES, which is a new release. I just want to know so that I can get a better idea how much deep I should go into this concept. So there's a poll shortly coming on your screen for this. Kindly answer to it. All right, here it is. All right, we have the results of the poll, and I can see none of you are aware of Noha ES. Need not worry, I will explain you in detail in the coming slides, and I'm sure once you get to know the benefits of Noha ES, all of you will start using it. So introducing to you Noha ES. Noha ES stands for Noha Extended Services, and as the logo implies, The project is to create a cloud-enabled version of Noha, thus making it accessible anytime and anywhere. With Noha ES, Noha services will now reside and be maintained in the cloud, including database backup, maintenance, security monitoring, and user authentication. Noha ES supports everything from small businesses to large chains. With Noha ES, the Noha system client software will still reside on your PC and perform in much the same way as it always has been. This means no additional training is necessary for hearing care professionals who already use Noha. This is a great news, I suppose. It will save a lot of your effort. The Noha ES accounts will be enjoying these benefits now. With Noha ES, hearing care professionals have access to Noha patient data 24 by 7. Networking inside the office or between all the offices will be greatly simplified. No need for setting up specialized networking support. For example, complicated VPN supports, or we can say VPN setups, which is usually a great pain for all of us. Noha ES supports large number of shops, locations, and concurrent users too. The Noha patient data is securely stored in professionally maintained data centers. Noha database will be backed up daily and be physically protected from natural disasters and physical theft too. So the security of the patient data is well taken care of over here. I hope by now you have got a fair idea about Noha, its prolific benefits, and even Noha ES. So I expect all of you will switch to Noha ES from now on. So let us move on to HL7 now. What is HL7? Health Level 7 International, or what we call as HL7, is a not for profit ANSI accredited standards developing organization dedicated to providing a comprehensive framework and related standards for the exchange, integration, sharing, and retrieval of electronic health information that supports clinical practice and the management, delivery, and evaluation of health services. HL7's vision is pretty simple: a world in which everyone can securely access and use the right health data when and where they need it. Patients often have many touch points with the healthcare providers in their lifetime. For instance, an encounter at a general practitioner could result in a referral to a physio, medication from the pharmacy, lab tests, and might result in hospitalization. In instances like this, patients cannot be expected to carry around their entire healthcare record with them. Standards like HL7 make more data available to healthcare providers and enable them to make better clinical decisions more efficiently to provide the best care for their patients. HL7 standards act as a bridge between modern healthcare services and advancing information technology. But how does HL7 actually work in real time? Let's consider a real time scenario and understand this. So, let's say a patient named John is suffering with some audiological issues and thus visits a big hospital which has several departments like gynecology, radiology, audiology, etc. At the entry, the receptionist inquires John for his demographic details, his past medical history, and the issues he is facing currently. Then the receptionist enters all the information of the patient along with the patient's arrival confirmation in the hospital CMR system. This data is then sent to the audiology department in the HL7 message format. The patient is then redirected to the audiology department. Meanwhile, the audiologist receives the patient information in the PMS on their machine. Thus, the audiologist gets prepared to examine the patient by checking the history of the patient, the past diagnosis, etc. Then, several audiology measurement tests are performed on the patient using measurement modules that are present in the market. The results of these tests are then sent back to the patient management system that the audiologist is using on his or her machine. Now, since the examination is over, all the tests have been conducted, the diagnosis is done, even the results are saved in the PMS. So now the audiologist will sign off the patient and will inform the receptionist, or we can say the EMR system, about it in the form of HL7 message. EMR system is updated about the patient sign off, and thus the receptionist print the reports and bills for the patient, hand it over to them, and also schedules a revisit appointment if required at all. So this is how HL7 makes the management absolutely hassle free in big hospitals. All right, before we proceed, I would like to know how many of you are aware of FHIR, that is FHIR. For this, there is a poll coming on your screen shortly. Kindly answer to it. All right, here it is. All right, the poll results are ready with me, and I can see hardly any of you are aware of FIR, FHIR. Don't worry, we will cover it. So, introducing FHIR, a healthcare standard designed for the future. So, FHIR stands for Fast Healthcare Interoperability Resources. Healthcare specialists are required to access multiple electronic systems to see relevant diagnosis for a patient. And this is where FHIR comes in picture. It provides a common language around content and structures for clinical data classes. For example, diagnosis, allergies, procedures, and etc. Hence, data can be exchanged across EHRs, that is, electronic health records, without any ambiguity and risk of misinterpretation. As a patient visits various healthcare entities, say clinics, emergency centers, hospitals, or even laboratories. So, there needs to be an easy and consistent way to share and transfer the patient information from one location to the other. Imagine a patient is sick. How can we expect that sick patient to carry all of his past medical records, his history data, along with him all the time? There needs to be some system in place for this. So that is where FHIR comes in. FHIR's use of current technologies allows the implementers to efficiently integrate, request, and transfer the data between various healthcare systems. The basic building blocks of FHIR are called resources. The resources are broken down into more distinct categories that can reference each other to form a complete picture. Some examples of resources include clinical resources such as allergies, medications, and care plan. Then we have the identification resources that include patient, location of service, and device information. And most important for us are the financial resources that include billing, insurance coverage, and eligibility information. The ultimate goal of FHIR is to solve the wide range of clinical and administrative healthcare problems by making healthcare information more portable and making interoperability better. Isn't this a great feature? It is the future of Fire HL7. I hope all of you have understood how crucial this feature is. Now, these are some of the commonly used HL7 messages. Now, assume that this is our HL7 message. Well, all the messages are divided up into segments of related information. So, each of these segments are separate lines of the message. The first segment in an HL7 message is always the message header. The message header conveys information like who sends it and when. The message header is denoted by the three letters MSH. In fact, every segment has its own header that identifies what the segment is about. Some common ones include PID that provides the patient information. Then we have NK1. NK1 is a repeatable segment that lists patients next of kin. We also have PV1. It provides the details of the patient visits such as doctors. Then SCH is for updating appointments into the hospital schedule. And lastly, we have the OBRs. These provide details of the group of observation results. As we dive deep into the HL7 structure, we find that segments are divided into fields or what we call as components. These components are separated by pipe characters, and these pipe characters serve as delimiter for passing the data. They also provide us a way to easily read the messages. And these are a few more commonly used separators. You will usually find them in most of the common HL7 messages. The very first segment of the HL7 message mentions the message type. Here ADT-A01 is the message type. ADT-A01 stands for admitting the patient. Similarly, we have several other ADT messages such as ADT-A02 for patient transfer, ADT-A03 for patient discharge. Then we have A04 for registering the patient, A05 for patient pre-admission. We also have A08 if in case you want to update any patient information, A11 for cancelling the patient admit, and lastly A12 if you want to cancel the patient transfer. Alright, let us see the demo of HL7 now, how it actually works. So this is an HL7 server simulator that we have prepared for the demo purpose. So usually this HL7 server, it is linked with a patient management system, that is a PMS. So whenever a patient arrives at the reception of an hospital, an HL7 message is sent to the patient management system, as we have already seen in one of the slides. So the PMS is notified about it in the form of HL7 messages. So let me select a patient, and yeah, in this drop down we can see these are several HL7 messages that we have configured for demo purpose. There is one for patient schedule, patient arrival, patient has been examined. Yeah, and over here we can see the ADT messages that we have just seen in the recent slides. So let us try one of these messages. Let me say my patient Neil Jacobson has arrived. So I have sent the arrival HL7 message to the PMS system. It has been notified about the patient arrival. My audiologist also gets notified about it. So now the audiologist prepares his diagnosis, conducts certain measurement tests in the patient management system. And once all the tests are conducted, the audiologist informs my HL7 server simulator that the tests are done and the patient has been examined. So it takes a couple of seconds for the HL7 message to get transferred from one system to another. And yeah, we can see the status has been changed to examine from arrived. So the PMS has responded to the HL7 server simulator and the HL7 message has been successfully received. Now let us try some other message. So let's say Smith Richard has been admitted. So I have sent the admit HL7 message to my PMS system. Now my audiologist gets notified about it. The admitted patient is diagnosed and then tests have been conducted. And again, once everything is done, the audiologist just signs off the patient from the patient management system. And yes, the HL7 message has been successfully received by the server simulator. So the status has been changed from admit to examined. So this is how the communication between an HL7 server and a patient management system happens. So you can just imagine how the job in a big hospital becomes so easy and hassle free just with the use of these HL7 messages. This is the future in healthcare. All right, let me close this. So let us take a look into the benefits of HL7. HL7 helps to maintain relevance of patient data by switching from traditional messaging and document based paradigms to the most current APIs. Having visibility over data that has been generated somewhere else can be really hard to achieve, sometimes even impossible, if systems expose information in a proprietary way that makes sense only to them. Thus, achieving interoperability is crucial, which in turn maximizes the value of EHRs, that is, electronic health records. It ensures that data can be integrated easily across systems, exposed in a cohesive manner, and appreciated in its entirety by healthcare providers and staff, reducing interim administrative burden while improving care delivery. I think which is the main aim over here. It makes more data available to healthcare providers and enable them to make better and efficient clinical decisions to provide the best care for their patients. I am sure by now you are fairly convinced with the importance of HL7 in modern healthcare. So these are the services provided by Decos. Noha integration with your PMS system. We can help you integrate EMR HL7 with the PMS that you are using. We can also help you create a customized HL7 simulator. You have already seen one in the demo. And we would be glad to provide any kind of assistance related to customization of HL7 and patient management system. All right, that is all for today. I hope this webinar gave you greater insights into interoperability in healthcare systems using NOHA and HL7. I can see some questions coming in, but due to paucity of time, we will respond to them via email. For any further queries, you can contact us. Contact details are on the screen. We would be more than happy to help you. Also, please note a recorded version of this webinar will be available on our website in a week from now. We will also send you an email with the link on your registered email ID to access this webinar. And once again, I would like to thank you all for your time. Have a great day ahead.